Greetings, wayward travelers. Come on in, take a seat, and welcome to Logan needs to turn on music still. The Ecriom Expeditions. I'm your dungeon master, Logan Hanley, here to spin you and the adventurer you see before you a yarn through the lands of Ecriom. Before we get started, though, let's do some announcement stuff. First and foremost, want to do, if my commands will work. There we go. Oh, nope, I did too many now. First, some shout outs. First of all, Briar Flame for the amazing overlays that you see before you. If you're looking to get overlays done or any sort of digital art, Briar Flame is your go-to person, or should be if they aren't already. They are a fellow member of the Initiative Order and just amazing all-around, super kind-hearted, creative human being who taught me everything I know about taking Instagram pictures. Next, Esoteric. He is responsible for all of the cartography that you see of the Lands of Ecriom. Probably not for a little bit. I'm going to try to do more with it on stream. But yeah, you'll see all of his work. From time to time, if you need cartography done for your own world building, check him out. After him, we have Dell, who is the one who created the... Is this the right direction? Is it... I know. That way? That way. The amazing art. I don't know. The amazing art that you see between Taryn and myself, and as well as all of the other art for the characters of the Ecriom Expeditions. So check out Dell for any of your character art or like even side projects or books that you're working on. They're amazing to work with and just absolutely awesome human being. And then last but not least, Adrian von Ziegler, who is the composer of all of the music that I have on my streams, and the spoopy music that is playing currently as we're getting ready for this. After that, we're going to do some sponsors. First and foremost, Dragon Rock RPG, the brilliantly talented Daniel Lieberman and Renee Beauregard bring unique and creative content to the TTRPG community, whether it's writing their own content or collaborating with other creatives. The two of them maintain their goal of creating very, very extensive and just wonderful TTRPG content. You can see a lot of it on my streams as well, as I work with Daniel Lieberman on some of the subclasses and now races of Ecriom themselves, or itself. Next, Umbral Oculus Dice. We have the wonderful Taryn Hackett next to me, who is the maker of these amazing dice from Beyond the Veil. I have mine here, and hopefully it will roll. Ooh, wow, actually, this is the best view of your dice so far on a stream, and I can. It looks amazing. I want one of those D2s. The logo is absolutely. Don't stop.
Curse of Will Wheaton.
Stop. No, we do not speak this name in this campaign or on this channel. We do not talk about Will Wheaton. Unless, Will Wheaton, you're watching and want to join us. In that case, come on board. Oh, man. And last but not least, the Initiative Order. Amazing. Follow the link wherever it's at to go buy some dice from Taryn, because, like, you need that shit for real. Because we all need to feed the inner dice goblin. But yeah, last but not least, the Initiative Order. Amazing passionate community members who want to complete, while exploring other TTRPG content and systems, bring a very inclusive and diverse spin on what we're seeing in the TTRPG community today. They're amazing people. They're constantly working to make sure that the community is inclusive, and all that other good stuff. And Taryn also runs Far Realms on there, which is super. Is that this Sunday? You're going to talk about it in a minute. But head over to their channel. I think they have a couple more August one-shots, community one-shots that are left. But every month they do community one-shots. So if you're looking to get into more games or meet your fellow TTRPG community members, the Initiative Order is 100% the go-to community for that. Oh, and last but not least, because I forgot to do it for run-ins, because no one cares. No one wants to toss money at No one wants to toss money at
Jared Leto?
Yeah, Jared Leto.
Leto.
If you like what you see, if you want to support the beautiful and amazing me, and also Taryn, and the other members of the Ecriom Expeditions, feel free to donate to our coffee account. We split everything evenly. It's a great way for us to just, make a little bit extra, work on improving some of our own, and I'm pointing at myself, cosplays, or just kind of, doing stuff for our own creative projects and getting those going. But yeah, I'll be using a lot of it to enhance the stream, enhance a lot of the content that you're going to be seeing with the battle maps, and all of that good stuff. Yeah.
I keep playing with my antenna.
Yeah, I'd constantly be booping it. Yeah.
I'm just
they're so good. They're so cool. But yeah, Taryn, go ahead and do your shtick. Say your things. Say words.
Do the stuff. Saying some words. No, Taryn Hackett, also known as Val Rook across the socials, creative human dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. You can check me out at kofi.com/UO_dice. I have druid themed dice in my shop right now, currently available. You can also follow me on the Instagram at UO_dice as well. I'm also a GM over on the Initiative Order for Far Realms, which is a Cult Divinity Lost homebrew that I am currently running to scare the pants off of one Ronin Fox and a Mr. Casual Kimball, as well as one of my buddies from home. It's great, and we have an episode this Sunday at 6 Pacific. I'm also every Monday on Vault as a redneck with a gun in our Fallout themed TTRPG, because yes.
Yeah, because when you're not a moth person, why not be a redneck? Like, that's legit, like, polar opposites. Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah.
She doesn't have issues either. It's fine.
And if you want to see what the different domains of dread of Ravenloft would look like with a little bit of a different, like, non-D&D spin on them, Far Realms is definitely what you should watch.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I can't wait. Like, whenever I watch Far Realms, like I guess whenever, it's been one time, but when I've watched Far Realms, you're only on the first episode, but the first episode of Far Realms that I watched, I was sitting there and I was working on stuff for Ronin's one shot, and then right afterward, I was like, I stopped halfway through and started working on stuff for yours, because I was just like, I have to. Yeah, Far Realms is really good inspiration for like the dark and spoopy D&D realm. But yeah. All right. Whew, fuck. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck. I don't have my normal scotch with me, but yes.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time because my accent for this character is still developing. And it'll shift, probably.
Don't worry. I tend to try to emulate people, and that'll be great. It'll be musical accents the entire night. Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, I'm going to roll all of your blacklight die really quick. You get a few of them, and I'm going to put them to the side
good.
For you
I'm
to
probably
use.
going to need them because my dice will betray their master, as is normal for me.
All of your sets are your own sets, correct? Like, you've hand-poured all of the sets that you have sitting in front of you?
Yes, all of the sets I have in front of me. One of them is actually one of the first sets for my practice pours, and so we'll see how badly that one fails me.
All right.
Because it's my baby. Probably feels like it was abandoned now.
Wow. At least yours hasn't been sitting in a dice jail for the past week and a half.
That's why it keeps doing that to you, because it's my dice and they have attitude problems.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm sorry, little one. That's not going to help. It's just going to yell at me more. I've had enough experiences with Taryn to know that's how that goes.
All right. Ready to die.
Yeah.
Episode 1. Here we go.
Days, weeks, months, years, decades. The lives of mortals so fickle and weak, seeking to become great or dying, trying. Time changes all things in this world, these lands of Ecriom. But we persist. Time has chosen to keep us in this place. Powers the strongest of the mortals who would dare to test us can even begin to contemplate. Here, only one truly remembers. Here, Only one breathes change, exerting their will upon the world around them. Here, only one yearns to escape from a place of oak and ash and thorn. A young child sits on their bed on the outskirts of the city of Waveglen, getting ready for bed, pulling up the blanket. Their mother sits down at the foot of their bed and softly begins to speak an old nursery rhyme. Do not tell Waveglen this plight. The elves would call it a sin. 3 have been out in the woods all night, conjuring Autumn Lord in. The 3 bring news to elf lords so fair, bring news of a child to be torn. A pact long made to form the pair between elf and fey and thorn. Between elf and fey of the thorn. Eden, you awake to the bright sunlight of the grove, surrounded by trees and a small glen of flowers, the scent hitting your nose, fragrant and just filling the air with brightness. Please describe yourself to us.
So, Eden is about 5'6". You might say she's taller, because all of my characters do. She has somewhat of a rosy complexion, and her fingers are a bit elongated. She has dusty pink hair. She has elven ears, except there is a notch out at the ends. And she has fuzzy moth antennae that also grow from her head, as well as 2 slightly rose-covered thorny vines growing out of the back of her head, kind of up and out like a crown. But yeah. And then we have our moth-like cloak, is like my favorite thing in the world. Thank you, Del.
As you sit up and begin to kind of stretch from your evening's rest, you take a look around the forest that is in your immediate area. Make a perception check for me. I'm gonna make you make the first dice roll with your own dice. I want to see.
Okay. So I do have a proficiency bonus technically, and I am proficient in perception, which gives me a 17.
A 17. As you sit up, most of the glen around you is very barren. I mean, there's leaves on the trees and stuff, but there isn't much to see. But at the far end, up against one of the tree trunks, wings slowly fluttering open and closed, you see a small moth.
She will walk up and just extend her finger out towards it, like kind of to let it rest on her finger.
As you extend your finger, the wings begin to open. And instead of like coming up onto your finger and moving across the palm of your hand, instead it flies up and it goes to land on your nose.
Well, hi. Oh.
As you poke it, it again flutters and like moves around and lands on your nose again.
That's a little invasive. Oh.
Make a animal handling check for me.
That's okay. That's a 10.
That's a 10. That'll be enough for a little mothy friend. The moth moves down the tip of your finger and onto the flat of your hand.
How are you this morning?
wings open up once and then again.
Me too. Is that you?
Just boop it.
She's like kind of petting it a little. She's not really sure what to do here. She's just
the
kind
wings,
of childlike curiosity is like, yeah.
The wings open up again and close, and then the moth begins to take off and head into the forest.
She follows. Very quickly she follows without a second thought.
All right.
Wake up! Just kind of.
As you run to catch up to this moth that's going a little bit faster than what you'd normally imagine a moth to go, quickly the leaves of the trees and the flowers that are on the ground surrounding them change from these bright pinks and reds and yellows and the green, the color of the trees being the nice autumn's oranges and greens or oranges and reds and auburns, to very muted green and black. Some of them this kind of brackish gray color. You see between the limbs of the different trees, spider webs beginning to form, but a clear path cut through the woods. The moth continuing through.
She will continue to follow, not just like headlong anymore. She's like being very attentive and watching where she's stepping, because she has definitely stepped on thorns before.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing you do notice, that as you're beginning to make your way deeper and deeper into these woods, there are more wrapping around the trees, the trunks of the trees, these giant vines, almost like thorn or rose bushes, just continuously wrapping up the sides of the trees. Very invasive, very like life-stealing thorns that are as big as some of your fingers are protruding from them, sharp as daggers. You continue through, watching your feet, your bare feet, the second member.
At this point, yeah, second.
Yeah, second member to be barefoot.
Barefoot bandits.
TM. No. But you continue to push your way through. As you do, the moth getting farther and farther ahead, surprisingly. But not for long. Soon, the moth begins to disappear, as at the edge of this grove of trees that you're making your way through, light begins to push through. That light begins to swallow and eat the form of the moth until it can no longer be seen. And by that point, you're pushing through the glen, or you're pushing through the trees, and come into yet another set of open fields. The flowers here are lush and lively, like the glen that you had woken up in. A small well sits in front of a cottage that is made of, or with thatch roof and wooden siding. A small fire coming out of the fireplace, or a small trail of smoke coming out of the fireplace in the chimney. You're home.
She will kind of just stop and like head tilt, take notice of it, and realizing she's lost her little moth friend, will kind of gleefully skip up to this house, because nothing bad ever happens.
Nothing bad ever happens. And as you skip towards this house, happy and gleeful, the front door slams open with a thud. And standing in the doorway, you see an oh-so-familiar face. Young. Not quite as young as yours, but maybe only a few years older. Black hair that extends down past the shoulders. A crown of roses golden roses and different colors of these same kind of muted green leaves strewn about the hair. You see your friend and mentor, Belladonna.
Hi, Bella.
Hello, child. Where were you last night?
I was playing, and then I decided, apparently, I think I fell asleep out in the... I got woke up by a moth. And then I ran through the forest part, and then I'm here.
Where are you? Who are you playing with? Were you just by yourself in the woods?
There was a little moth that I don't
Well,
really remember.
come in, child. Get time for breakfast and for our morning lessons.
Mm,
And she pulls you in, and as you do, she kind of does the very protective, like sweeps you in, begins to kind of close the door and look out, close the door, and sits you down, gets a nice kind of bowl of porridge in front of you, and then turns back to the cauldron that's sitting in the fireplace and snaps her fingers, and it begins to bubble and kind of spill over the side, but it's not like it's the bubbles aren't spilling over, but this small little mist begins to trail out.
what is that?
Oh, this is one of my favorite morning recipes. It will is normally meant to keep Hemlock's temper at bay until at least noon. And she takes
That works. She has not bad temper always.
No, it never works. I continue to add something different every day. Actually, will you go pick something out from the cupboard for me? And
Sure.
she points to the cupboard across the room.
Walks up and just reaches up and just open and is just already taking stuff out. Doesn't.
Okay. Roll a d20, just a random d20 for me. Nothing added.
Fuck you, dice. That one is in dice jail. That's an 8.
An 8.
3 more to go.
So one of the things you pull out is a small vial, maybe about... I'm going to empty this out so that way nobody has to see what's in it. But it's a small vial, maybe about that big. Don't ask why I have a small vial just sitting on my desk. But it contains a portion of what looks like some sort of tail floating in a like a pink-colored liquid.
Tap, tap. Is this... What is?
Oh, that is the eye stalk of a basilisk. Yes, that's good. Give it here. It's an eye stalk of a basilisk, and she takes it and very quickly takes it, dips her finger in, and gets a little bit of the liquid and that'll do, and dumps it in, and it's like poofs, and it gets this little bit of the smoke that was kind of greenish in hue gets a little bit of a pink color to it as the tail is added, and she begins to spin it or to stir it before taking a ladle, scooping it up, and filling a mug, and very quickly exits the kind of kitchen area of this cottage into the back room that you would know it houses all of the beds for you and your mentors. You hear yelling, "It's not time to wake up yet. No, I'm staying in bed. Oh, thank you, dear." And Belladonna comes out just giggling and laughing to herself.
Better you than me.
Oh, yes, always. I know how to deal with her a little bit better than most.
I don't think she likes me very much.
Between you and me, she doesn't like most people. But I would agree. You especially more so than the rest of us. You are a special one, after all. And she kind of takes her finger and boops you in the nose.
And she boops back.
So, what mischief do you want to learn today?
Oh, there's a lot. Well, you taught me to do some of the herb stuff, but you do a lot of stuff with the cauldron, and it seems really cool.
Oh, yes. Of course. How? Yes, and she finds a way to move the table even closer to the cauldron than it already is. What specifically is your calling toward the cauldron? What pulls you to it?
I want to create. I want to make things. Like pretty things.
Pretty things. Pretty things. Well, Hemlock won't like that.
Well, everything that she makes or this out there is so just dead.
Yes, and like not really like you could tell there's a little bit of perplexity on her face, but she's yes. Hemlock has her way with taking life. She doesn't particularly enjoy creating things that she can't sap. So I guess that would be my next question. Is your intent when creating life or creating something pretty to keep it pretty or to take that prettiness away?
I think I want to protect it, right? And make it grow bigger and more. That sometimes when the things hurt me like that spider, though, I like it when they die quickly.
So okay. Well, and she begins to stir the pot, and as she does, she pulls one of her roses off. When we deal with what we do, there is always a give and a take. Remember this, child. And as she pulls off one of the roses, she kind of winces as if like her hair was being pulled with it, and she takes it and she drops it in, and the cauldron begins to bubble and turn to this golden color. And as it does, she reaches her hand in and she pulls out a full golden flower, like a golden rose, with stem and thorns and all.
That's really nice. What does it do?
This, and she extends it toward you.
Takes it.
If you smell it, you can breathe some of the life that I've put into it.
Sneep.
And as you do, the petals begin to open up, and a little poof of, like, not spores, but like pollen comes out of it. The color is similar to the color of the rest of Belladonna's hair. And as you breathe it in, you kind of get this invigorating, like, just kind of feel tingle throughout your body. And you get 2 temporary hit points.
That's really cool. Could I do that?
In time, my dear, in time. It takes a certain amount of power and favor in
Favor?
order... Did I say favor? I meant flavor. Flavor, yes. It takes a certain amount of flavor. We all have our different ways of dealing and putting things, or dealing with the cauldron. In time, you will be introduced to your own. This one is mine. Hemlock and Wisteria have their own.
Oh.
And soon,
Does mine have to be big and ugly?
Your cauldron is a part of you. It it just doesn't manifest, right? It just didn't. The fates bring it to you at the most opportune of moments.
I didn't mean yours was ugly. It's just bigger than I could carry.
Oh, it is fine. I do not prefer to bring my work with me where I travel.
Oh.
So if you wish to, then hopefully the fates will bring you one that allows you to take it with you.
Speaking of travel, can we travel like you said we could someday?
Of course. I mean, you know that you have the run of the mill when it comes to the garden and the orchard in the back and the forest and the more backyard.
What about, like, outside of... I know you said it's not safe, but I'm not so weak, you know. I could... I can curse things sometimes.
Yes, it's one of your more potent gifts that you have. Yes. And as Belladonna is sitting there trying to think of what words to say, you hear from the back, kind of clattering out. My dear, if you wish to travel, all you will find is the ilk of man. And out steps Hemlock, a completely black-clad female, almost elven-like features, long blonde hair extending way past her belly button. The black coming up into like little floofs of like fur and feathers. A crown of wood and root inlaid with gold and moss upon her head. Why do you wish to see man so badly?
It's not the man I want. I just wanted to know what it looked like, because everything starts to look the same after a while. Is men, are they really that bad?
Mankind has been the bane of our existence, the bane of the world since the dawn of creation. Nothing good has come from what they do to our world.
Well, could we teach them to not?
You hear this, Belladonna? She thinks we can teach man to not follow their own hearts, not follow fate. And Belladonna kind of shrinks ever so slightly. Eden, if you wish to understand man, if you wish to see men, travel out that door. Travel for about a day or two, and you will see what lies in the heart of most men, of all men. Go on.
I feel like this is a test.
Belladonna comes up and kind of like scoops your hands in hers. Maybe your not so ugly cauldron will be waiting for you.
Okay. Okay. You're not gonna be mad that I'm gone?
Why would I be mad?
Because last time you turned me into a sheep.
Well, when you venture into parts of the woods that you are not allowed to, that will happen. This time, however, you are going with the intent of experiencing what mankind is really like. And if you come back, that will be your test.
But what if they're like, are they scary?
You want to travel, go and find out yourself.
Okay. And I will quickly run to the room and grab my backpack.
You run out, you grab your backpack, which contains a small few of your belongings. As you do, you see the trunk, like the corner of the room is like a trunk of a willow tree. The couple of the limbs extending over into the rafters of the home, of the cottage. As you do, the center of the tree opens, and inside you see the almost fully elven featured sister, Wisteria. From maybe about the chest up, staring back at you, her white hair flowing to right up over her shoulders, her eyes these pale greens, brambles and leaves stuck in her hair.
Hi, I'm gonna go travel now. Grabbing bag. Hemlock told me to. Do you think it's a trap?
She just smirks and nods as I need more sleep. And the bark of the willow begins to close.
She actually spoke this morning. Um, then I quickly run to the other room. Okay, where do I sleep? Do I keep walking?
Belladonna looks at you. Dear, you slept in the woods last night and were woken up by a moth.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And as she says the word moth, you can see Belladonna, or not Belladonna, Hemlock, visually like grimace, like do like literally like get the eye twitch, and it's just like get out and go experience your travels.
Okay. I'll be back. Hopefully. And she dips out just like really quickly.
As you do, and the door slams behind you, followed by a very, very abrupt, you told her about the cauldrons, and that's literally the last thing you hear as you continue on your way, running away from the rage of Hemlock.
Yes.
Welcome to level 2, or tier 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not so bad, right? You haven't died yet.
No.
Oh my gosh, did we ever figure out what we talked? Did we talk about what your job was? Yeah, we did.
Herbalist.
Yeah, we did. Herbalist.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I forgot if we actually ever did. But yeah, so you get your skills that you're proficient in, you get your weapons that you're proficient in, and you get your cantrips that you know as your chosen class, which is
Shillelagh and Druidcraft.
Shillelagh and Druidcraft, because you are a little druid. And yes, so how did that? I can't tell if that looks. Yeah, okay. I can. The overlay looked a little weird. It may also be because I shrunk it. So, with your newfound spells, you begin to travel to, I don't know, wherever you're going at this point.
She's just running in a direction.
Yeah.
She said to go that way, and that's what we're doing.
Roll a d8.
Oh God.
It's gonna determine which direction you go.
I rolled an 8. Thank you, Umbraloculus Dice, for not betraying money. Yep.
2, 3, 4. Okay, you go northwest because that's the last one before we get back to north. So you begin traveling northwest, following the sun to an extent. You're keeping the sun on your one shoulder. I'm not going to say which because I don't know which way if you're running the sun would be. We're not getting into it because even though Logan teaches geography, he's not very good with directions. But you begin running. Eventually, you get to about midday. Your feet are tired and worn. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm not using you. You've betrayed me already. We're trying this one. That's better. Your mommy's new favorite. That's 15.
15.
Plus, oh wait. Plus, yeah, I still only get like a +1, so it's a 16.
A 16. On the edge of your vision, on top of a hill, you see a small clump of trees. Shade. A nice place to rest. These are vibrant, the same vibrant colors you had awoken in, the color of autumn finally setting in the oranges and yellows and reds and auburns of autumn.
She will kind of walk on over and sit down. This is probably a trap. I feel like she did this on purpose. At least Bella will probably say maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, oh, I didn't bring, she wants to attempt to use Druidcraft to make a club that she did not grab from...
Go ahead and roll a d20 and add, since the club is a little bit bigger than what you can make with Druidcraft, roll a d20 and add your spell casting modifier to it. So your wisdom. I'd say you could add proficiency.
Okay, cool.
It's whatever your spell attack would be.
That's an 18.
An 18. You take... What specifically, like, so in order to... A lot of what you've learned growing up is that, like, you have to take something to make something. So what are you using to craft this club? Like, looking around, what would you like to take to craft this club?
She's going to jump up and grab, like, an old branch since it's autumn. And she's just going to put all, like, she's not super heavy, but she's going to jump up and then just go dead weight and, like, hunker into a little ball and hold on to the little branch until it falls off and she hits the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check or athletics check for me, please.
Strongest person in the party.
Actually, I think you are. I think you are. You and Art, the two strongest motherfuckers in this damn campaign.
With that's a 15.
A 15. Okay, it takes you about like a solid minute of just like, you jump, you dead weight, you jump, you dead weight, and then finally you break off this branch, and it breaks in, as you fall, it breaks at the seam where like you were bending it, but then as you fall, it hits your shoulder and it also snaps in two. So you have like a little end with the like the kind of more pointed tip from like the very, very end of the branch, and then you have like a little bit more meatier chunk that's connected to like where the heart of the branch would have connected closer to the trunk.
She will take the shorter end and like kind of break it in a couple places and lay it on one end. And she's trying to make like a shillelagh, like if you've seen like the witchy looking.
I'm Irish. Don't talk to me about shillelaghs.
Yeah, I'm just making that. Well, that's for descriptive for people in audience.
I know.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And then
Ronan in me.
Stupid Ronan. And she will kind of place her hands there. And she's attempting to like call forth vines to kind of weave it all together just a little bit and put a rose on it.
So as you do, the vines begin to curl up, not at first wrapping around where the handle would be. The vines not containing any thorns, but then when it gets to like the meat of what this club actually would be, it's like the equivalent of like a baseball bat with nails sticking out of it. And then at the top, the very, very top, where like normally there would be like that sunken in part of the baseball bat, it's a rose. Or whatever flower you want. I don't know if you want a rose.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a rose, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, there we go. What time of day is it? Just midday?
It's about midday, and as you're doing this, you notice that deeper within this small grove, it's not very big, it's maybe only a couple dozen trees, but deeper within, you can hear the sound of water splashing onto what sounds like stone.
That's weird. I didn't know we were... I've not heard that before.
You haven't heard it before, and you haven't seen this grove before.
Without thinking, because everything is safe, she's going to take her little whack tool and she's going to walk in that direction.
Okay. As you do, you see before you ruins. A small fountain in the center, columns going up to the side, some of them toppled over and scattered in rubble, ornately carved with what would only be the equivalent of like Greek and Romanesque architecture styles, which are two different things, but for the sake of this, everybody, it's one thing. Let's just come on. I'm waiting for Daniel to say something, because he would be the one. But you go in and you see this fountain coming out with a statue of a swan, and where the swan's mouth is, water is coming out of it, and it's splashing down into a pool that's maybe the size of like one of those really little kiddie pools. And then the water's overflowing and splashing onto the what's left of the stonework around it, which is now starting to become heavily eroded.
I will creep my way up. Does the water look gross? Is it fresh? Is there stuff growing in it?
The water looks surprisingly clear. You can see the bottom. On the top, you can see lily pads with their flowers in bloom. There's maybe about 4 of them there.
I touch the water surface to see, like, a couple of times to see if anything comes to the top. She's just kind of playing with it. She's afraid of deep water.
You touch it, and it ripples. It's hard for it to, like, really ripple, but, like, it kind of ripples back toward the back end where the swan is. Nothing seems to come to the surface. It doesn't seem more than maybe, like, a elbow length deep.
And I dip my feet in. I'm sure she, like, looks around to make sure nobody's watching.
You go ahead and give me a perception check as you dip your foot.
Dear God.
But listen, you were the one who said you looked around.
That's an 18.
An 18. You don't see anybody around you currently.
And then I kind of sit there and I'm kind of kicking my little feet in the water.
Okay. You're sitting on the edge, kicking your feet in the water. There's a little patch of sun that comes in and kind of hits you in this fountain area. You kind of sit there for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Nothing, you're not really getting a vibe. It's nice and cool. Like, it's nice and cool, and there doesn't seem to be anything super strange about where you're at. Like, this is probably one of the most normal relatively places that you've ever been.
I put my hand in the water and I make another lily pad. This one, for some reason, sprouts a rose instead. Then I'm like, well, it should probably keep walking, or... And then I'm like, I walk to the middle because I keep staring at this swan. And I'm kind of just messing around with it to see, like, what's the deal and why the water is working.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, okay. That one's fun because, okay. That one is an 18.
An 18.
I like this dice.
I don't know which one that is, but I hate it.
It's so pretty. Look at this dice.
You touch, like, boop it on the nose, or on the bill, and nothing seems to happen. And you turn around and begin to kind of, like, do your little waddle out of the pool. You step out, grab your things, and you turn around to give it one last look. And the head, like, I'm gonna do what the head kind of looked like. Like, the head is kind of like this, like, with the water coming out just kind of down. And when you turn and look, the head is kind of bowed, with the water still coming out towards you.
Has any of the water changed, or is it just...
The stonework of the pool has began to shrink slightly. All of the lilies and your new lily pad that you put in there with the rose are still in there. But the fountain pool has shrunk. The water that's coming over the edge is a little bit more intense than what it was.
She will walk back and see if she can tilt it back up.
As you reach and begin to push and push, nothing.
She tries to pull it further down.
You try to pull it further down. Nothing.
Dead weight.
Dead weight. Make a strength check or athletics check for me, please.
Okay, that's a 5.
A 5. You sit there and are like legit like swinging off this thing, and then at one point you lose your grip and splash down into the water, which like for you is like me trying to cannonball into like one of those little kiddie pools. It just doesn't work. It's really small, and like you get there for a second, stand back up.
She's like reaming out her antenna and like, yeah. Okay. Is there anything like on the stonework, like any kind of rune work or anything?
Good question. What languages do you know?
Okay, that's a list. Hold on.
Oh, great. No, I'm kidding.
Common, Druidic, Elvish, Sylvan, and Primordial.
Whew, wait, hang on. Slow down. I heard Elvish and Sylvan and Primordial.
Druidic and Common.
And Common. Okay.
All of the most useful languages.
All of the most useful languages in Sylvan. Starting on the left end and moving around to the right end, you read the word, and I gotta look at my notes. Where are my notes? Almave. Spelled Almeiv. Almave.
Mm-hmm. She like runs her finger over them.
Okay.
That's a weird word. Almeiv. Does she know what it means?
You would know that Almeiv means... It has a lot of meanings in Sylvan, but the two that are at the top of your head are maid and bloom.
Is there anything else in the room area? Just this?
Just this.
Okay. And I'm going to mess with the swan again because that's the only thing she knew to do in the first place, because she's a little...
You begin messing with the swan even more, and over time become frustrated. Sun beginning to set, you thinking probably best to get on your way. And you begin kind of sad to turn and... Oh, go ahead.
And she is going to like druid craft some vines and a rose like by the doorway, kind of.
Okay.
So that she's like flagging it.
Okay.
She's like,
yeah, you can do that.
Back.
Yeah, the thorns and spiral up, blooming roses as they do, and as you begin to turn away, continuing to head that northwestern direction, as the sun is setting to your one side, you hear, "It is my name. It is who I am. Seek me here when you are done with the humans. There's much you should know."
Hemlock, are you playing jokes on me again? I don't like that game. Okay. And she's kind of walking up.
And you continue to walk.
Yes.
You walk through the night until you see on the edge of your vision lights. Dozens and dozens of lights on the edge, very horizon. You walk for about another half hour, and you can see that this is in fact a small village. still alive in the twinkling hours of the night.
I will creep up on it. Yeah, she's just gonna creep up on it quietly. Because she really has no idea what to expect and kind of thinks men have, like, nasty teeth and claws right now, so
Okay.
she's
Go ahead and give me a stealth check, please.
like, uh, a natural 20, and I'm proficient, so that's a 21.
You're not allowed to use your dice anymore. Like, I'm done. No, I'm kidding. You
I love mommy.
pull up your little cloak around you as best as you can and begin to head in, using the shadows as Belladonna has taught you to your advantage on many of the heists that you've played against your sisters. You dart from alleyway to alleyway, using the light to see in front of you, but to hide you within the shadows. As you are getting ready to come around the alleyway and out kind of into what seems to be the main square, you stop and you pull back really quick as two individuals walk past the alleyway, look over and into it to see where you are. You're huddled behind a barrel. They don't seem to notice you. They continue on. You can retroactively do something if you like.
Well, no, as they were walking away, she's gonna kind of see where they're, peek around and see where they're going.
Okay. You watch as they head into a building about 2 houses down, or 2 buildings down, with a sign in front of it that says The Green Dragon.
Oh, those are the things. Okay, I know that. Why would they go in with the dragon, though? They should probably not. And so Eden will slowly start walking that direction because now she's concerned that they're going to where a green dragon is. So she will walk and see glass, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you see glass with light of the different fires and candles coming from the inside. There are a couple of lanterns hanging on either side of the main double doors that would head into this building. But you look through the glass. Go ahead and give me a perception check. The glass, while it is like glass, is still fairly kind of opaque and has like dirt and grime on it.
This one's going to jail.
Cool. I like that one. Use that one.
That's a 9.
That's a 9. Remember, you got 2d4s you can use as a guidance type of roll.
Yes.
And a d20.
No.
D20.
I'm gonna save it. I'm saving it. Saving it.
Saving it. All right. Cool. As you look in, the only really things of note you can see people or beings with big scruffy beards. Some of them with like Ronin-sized beards, some of them with like Eric Bra-sized beards, some of them with my sized beards, some of them with no beards, and some varying hair colors and styles and different trappings and clothes. Like there's a very, very diverse group of people within this hall. The one thing that you also notice is that men don't look like facially like you or Belladonna or Hemlock or Wisteria. You guys all have, like, you're used to seeing feminine features. They all have like very, very masculine features. There are, however, handful of women moving about the or this place as well. I almost give it away. And none of them have pointy ears.
Do any of them have antenna?
None of them have antenna, none of them have crowns, none of them have thorns or vines or flowers or tree branches. They look very rustic, but in the terms of like backcountry kind of rustic.
That's she is going to use disguise self.
Okay.
She's just trying, so she wants to look more like them, so she wants to hide the antenna and the pointy ears.
So you want a 9 perception disguise self yourself.
Yeah. Eden doesn't know that
Yep.
she did bad.
Yeah. Awesome.
So she will have
Fucking
dark
God.
hair. She has brown hair like some of the people, and like there's just like this wad of fur. It's not beard, it's just hair. So it's fur right here because she thinks that's what that is. And she just wants to make her shoulders look really broad. But everything else, like her ears and antennae and all that are gone. Dark hair, fur beard, and just burly shoulders. But everything else, like her face doesn't change.
Yeah, so it's like a little kid's face with like you take some. I know what you're talking about. Like when you take cotton balls and like color them, and then like you're just like patching them on your face. Yeah. So you do this spell upon yourself. You alter yourself to your perception.
Oh, and the clothes.
Your clothes
also,
change.
Yeah.
So they're a little baggy, surprisingly.
Yeah.
There's a little room, but you feel very much like your perception of man. And confident.
Sharp teeth.
Sharp teeth, damn it. Sharp teeth, bold, emblazoned, and ready to go into this place. You push open both the doors to the Green Dragon, and you step into the tavern.
Oh, it smells in here.
It smells like a mix of sweat, vomit, and piss, for lack of better words.
Oh, this is... Oh, God. Okay.
Two of these big, brawny guys. One of them with a shorter trim beard and hair that goes like right down to like the bottom of his like jawline and chin, is arm wrestling this guy that looks exactly like Ronan Fox, because like let's be honest, there needs to be a Ronan Fox in this one
Of
shot.
course.
Bald with a it's Jared Leto. No, I'm kidding. No, bald with a beard, super rippled with muscles, and he slams that other guy's fist on the ground, or like slams it over, and just lets out a roar. Who's next? Who wants some?
Ah!
And the whole bar, or the whole tavern, the whole of the Green Dragon, which you now notice doesn't have a single Green Dragon, turns.
Yeah, she's very confused.
And looks at you. And you have like the one guy in the corner like eating a carrot, just like...
That... Yeah. What game are we playing?
What?
I'm sorry, I'm new.
Come on and sit down. We're playing, it's not really a game, it's a test of strength and might and brawn.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. I'm the strongest. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so fucking thrown off, right? Logan is so thrown off. I'm dying.
I hope you're ready for this level of chaos.
Yeah. And the guy looks at you, he goes, there's no way that somebody who can't even fit into their own clothes is stronger than me.
We'll have to say about that. Is that rude? I'm not trying to be rude.
What? I
and
like he's like looking around. Everybody's super just like.
She puts her arm out on the table. All right, let's do a game.
All right, and as he does, he takes his or he goes to take off his cloak, and he takes off his cloak, and he's not wearing a shirt with sleeves, and his biceps are like if you took your head and put it on somebody's arm, and he coils his grip around yours, simultaneously grabs a mug of ale at the side and begins to chug it. Go ahead and make a athletics check for me, please.
I would like to use your D20.
Okay.
Even though what I rolled would be really funny.
Wait, hang on. Is that?
No.
What did you roll?
What did you roll?
What did you roll?
I rolled a
Oh, okay. I rolled an 18.
Oh, that's so much better.
That's a lot better. So what would that be a total of?
If I use the 18, that's an 18.
If you use the 18, that's an 18. As he's chugging the beer, or the ale with one hand, he burps a little, continues chugging, and like you can feel his wrist and his arm go a little slack, and you use that to your advantage, and you get his arm to about halfway before he catches himself, and he stops and he goes, "Ah, not so fast." And he kind of chuckles, and he's like, "You're not getting away that easy." And he starts to pull back. Go ahead and make another athletics check for me.
Yeah, this is over. That's stupid.
Are you fucking kidding me? God, fuck you.
What'd you get?
Fuck you, Umbral Oculus.
What'd you get?
Fuck you, Umbral Oculus.
What did you get?
I'm gonna pick it up and show you.
No, did you get a 1? Because I did too.
I got a natural 1.
So did I.
Okay, so he would end up winning because obviously with muscles like this, he has.
I hate that. No, but it's a 1. We should roll off again.
Okay, fine. We're gonna roll off. You're lucky. I approve of this level of chaos.
False.
I'm gonna use your die because it fucked me over. I don't. Wait. Why am I? God damn it.
I really want Eden to come out and win this. I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Okay. What'd you get?
Oh God, I'm crying.
Why did you get? Did you just get a natural 20, or did you get 2 natural?
No, I'm
ones?
just laughing so hard at the stupid shit that I'm doing right now. Okay. Okay. What did you get?
I got an 11.
I got a 12.
You're fucking kidding me.
But I have no modifiers.
Yeah, but that was 11 with modifiers. So, as you...
Tell me something. Somebody like bumps into him.
As he begins to pull back and like he's about to get to the halfway mark, how do you want to do this?
She pretends to sneeze, kicks him in the shin, and throws his hand down.
All right. And as you kick his shin, the ale comes up and spills over his shirt, and he like a little gets in his mouth as he's like trying to grunt, and he coughs and like spits some of it out, and then the hand falls on the ground, and the everybody watching just goes dead silent.
A 1.
And then some guy who's like nudges another guy, and they all just start, and the whole place just is hooping and hollering. This guy just grimaces. How did you get away with that dirty trick? How did you beat me? There's no way you could have beaten me.
I did not trick, as I'm clapping because everybody else is clapping.
And like one of the guys like watching, Glenn, it was a fair bout. Like you just got the newbie is stronger than you. You just got to deal with it. And the guy who's eating the carrot was like, I'm stronger there. And the buddy, yeah, like Phil said, yeah, this dude's just
like
a little
Phil
bit stronger
said.
than you. Yeah, like
I'm very strong.
all right, well, you know what? And he's like, the guy you arm wrestled kind of looks and grumbles and picks up his ale and just begins to kind of walk to the other corner of the room and sulk. But Phil grabs you on the shoulder and like spins you around in the chair and like is just like,
I don't speak that one.
yeah. Phil's saying that like because you won, you should get around a drink. Come on and sit down and
Okay.
the gentleman that's doing the talking, not the grumbling, is a very like smooth faced human. Hair goes down, not so much in the front, but in the back goes down like right to the top, like the back of his neck or the bottom of his neck. Very lithe and slender, wearing a simple like leather vest with like a small kind of cloak behind it, drifting behind it, made of this like satiny material. And he sits down, Phil on one side, this other gentleman on the other. Barkeep, 3 of the strongest, and the barkeep just makes a couple ales, throws them down in front of you. Gold's exchanged. You see these flashes of like little coins that are about like this big. Get kind of tossed to the barkeep. You have gold, but it looks very different from this kind of gold. Like yours is very like standard, like somebody just made a circle out of a piece of gold.
Mm-hmm.
These look like they're almost stamped, or some sort of intricacies are carved into them. But gold's exchanged. Oh, go ahead.
That's pretty cool. Gold things.
Yeah, gold's pretty cool. I thankfully bet on you to win between you and me. So you made me some money tonight. And I'm treating you to this ale because, well, fair is fair.
What's an ale? Oh, it's a drink.
Yeah, and he takes his tankard and Phil's like, it's the best. And yeah, Phil, this is the best ale in all of the Green Dragon. And he
Mm-hmm. Oh.
it is
Oh.
it is not the ale
Oh.
that you thought that ale would taste like. Like you're used
It smells a lot different than it tastes going down my. Oh.
Sorry about that. It's a bit
That's-
chunky sometimes.
It's very different where I'm come home from.
Where you come home from.
I'm not good with words.
Yeah.
Like Phil.
Phil just is like well, the man's like, so what's your name, friend? Who are
What's
you?
your name?
My name is Bart.
My name is Art.
Your name's Art.
Mm-hmm.
Make a deception.
That's-
Make a deception check with that one.
With my 8 charisma, that's gonna be oh my god.
Is that another dice jail one?
Yeah, that dice is going bye-bye now. That's a 3.
How many of you do you have left?
I have 1.
You have 1d20 left. I love it. And Bart, or not Bart, Phil
Bart?
gets up and
So-
kind of walks away, but Bart leans in close. I can tell you right now that your name isn't Art.
Don't like people to know my name.
You know, if you would have said that the first time, I would 100% have left it be at that. Thank you for at least acknowledging that you wish to remain mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Sips the ale.
Sips the ale again, you're just like, "Brr." Why have... Why have you come here? Why have you traveled here? What business are you on?
Just exploring mostly. Not. Yeah. I grew up out in the woods with my family. Never got around much. Not a lie.
The woods?
Yeah, trees. Those things.
Are... No one, we don't go near the woods.
They're not bad. They're a little pokey. It's actually a long night. I probably should walk home. Thank you for the weird fizzy drink. As she's gonna walk with the ale
You take
To
the
leave.
ale and you begin to start leaving. You leave the Green Dragon. You begin following like the main thoroughfare out of town. And as you reach kind of right at the edge of where the light of the town is hitting the darkness of night, you hear behind you. You're one of them, aren't you?
One of who? Forest people?
The Sisters of the Wood.
Is that what they're called? She says that like in her normal voice.
And you turn and you see Bart still behind you. But now you see in his eyes were like a nice, like cool, like hazel.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's this glint of gold coming from them. That is
No.
what they're called. And we're told that any who come from the wood should be buried back there.
Why would you put me in the ground? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Backing away.
As you back away, it's more humane than the stake. And you watch as he goes like this with his hand, and a brief splash of kind of golden light emanates. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep. Okay, I can do that. I can do that, because that wasn't bad. That's a 17.
17. You feel the ground underneath you begin to give way as this radiant light shoots up, and you manage to step back. You manage to step back as it shoots up into the sky, almost connecting with the stars. Go ahead and roll initiative, please. I just realized this entire time I haven't had music going.
Oh no.
It's fine. It happens.
Well, my initiative is good.
All right. Oh, let me roll for this guy.
I will say, as soon as that happens, she definitely just
Drops.
drops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she's panic. Help.
All right. What'd you get?
That was a 19.
My Umbra Oculus actually rolled good. It was a 17. I thought I'd got you. All right, so you go first.
Okay. Darn, it's been a long time since I've done anything. I'm trying to decide how defensive she's going to be, or she's running. Because there's... How much distance is between me and...
There's
Flamey
about,
Boy?
like, 20-ish feet, give or take.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. She's gonna run. She's going to shillelagh. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I bonus action cast shillelagh, so she grips her little club shillelagh that she made earlier, and it kind of gets little vines shoot up it and grow more thorny and bulky. And she looks at him like she might hit him, and then she dips
She jumps.
and runs 30 feet.
Runs 30 feet. All right. He gives chase, following you, like, pretty much now into the darkness, just on the edge of his vision. And he is going to use, instead of actually using a cantrip because he can't see you because he's human, he's going to instead pull out a sword, and as he does, you can hear the sound of, like, it unsheathing. And as he does, he lifts it up, and a star shoots down from the heavens, embedding itself into the blade as he casts light and illuminates the area in 30 feet of light.
Oh, that's a pretty cool trick. You should probably try not to use that on me.
He's running.
All right. He, this time, dashes, getting right up next to you. You can see now and you can hear now the shouts of the shouts of other villagers starting to run toward this now lone beacon in the center of the fields that surround this village. And as he begins to lift up the sword, you can see in his eyes, he doesn't necessarily want to do this. There's a glimpse of almost fear. It's a combination of like fear and sadness. And as he begins to bring the sword down upon you and kind of turns his head away as he does, there's a flash of pure white light as standing before you is this giant humanoid creature, 4 arms, 2 on either side, extending down as he motions to the ground. Wings unfurled, moth-like, face face also moth-like, but somewhat human with pure white antennas poking out. You should have listened to your sister. Run along now. And as he backhands the boy, you hear Bart, you hear one last, like, blood splatters, the sword falls to the ground, darkness.
Yeah, Eden does not look back either. She's just looking down, just straight running back in the direction of...
And as you begin running into the darkness, the direction that you've came, you go to level 3. Congratulations.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay!
We're also going to go to break in a second. But, yeah,
cool.
So you get your saving throws as well as proficiencies in armor.
Yay!
Yeah, so you get proficiency with armor, saving throws. I think that's it. Yeah, because the tools and all of that were part of the other one. But yeah, we're going to go on a quick, 5-ish minute break, sit around, hang out. Thank you all for joining us. And we'll be back shortly.
Pew pew.
back. Thank you, Renee, for messaging me. I just looked at those notifications to realize that you were messaging me about music. So there will be music the rest of this one shot. There won't be in the beginning. I am sorry. I turned it off. Oh, you want to know what I turned it off? I turned it off because I was doing the poem, and then I didn't turn it back on afterward. It's always something. Usually it's like my own voice, or when I'm playing with people, their voices. But yeah, welcome back to the Ecriom Expeditions. Really quick, we're going to have a word from our sponsors.
A word.
Sponsors. I need to learn how to spell sponsors first. There we go. The Initiative Order, Umbral Oculus Dice, and Dragon Rock RPG. Dragon Rock RPG, amazing D&D and TTRPG content creators who do subclasses, races, backgrounds, items, all that cool stuff. Monsters. They just did a monster with Ronan the other day on his stream. Next, Umbral Oculus, the amazing Taryn Hackett, who has crafted all of these amazing dice from Beyond the Veil. And then last but not least, the Initiative Order, who are amazing content creators and players, dungeon masters, all of that good stuff. They are very super inclusive and just friendly all-around group of individuals to play tabletop games with. So if you haven't checked them out, please do so already. They have some community games coming up, as well as Far Realms, featuring the wonderful little moth person to my right.
And weirdly enough, there's moths in that too.
And there's lots of moths in that, because like, can you sense a theme? Last but not least, if you like what you see, if you want to, what?
I said theming.
Theming, yes. If you know what, you should just like paint those black for Far Realms. So that there you go. Just keep painting back and forth for each game. No, if you like what you see, if you want to support us in our endeavors, please feel free, head to that Ko-Fi link and donate some money. It is out of the kindness of your heart. You don't get anything but our love and support and this amazing show for it. But means a lot to us, and it will go toward making our stuff better and making our content better, and me making the battle maps and minis and all of that cool stuff better. It's going to go to improve everything, including my face. No, I'm kidding.
Plastic surgery.
I need plastic surgery. No, I'm kidding.
He's just going to show up with Botox next time.
Yes. If we donate enough money, I have an idea. I can't say anything now. I have ideas already. I have fundraiser ideas, but Ronan's already bald, so it can't be Ronan. No, but let's dive back in to our adventures. Now I got the spoopy music that should have been playing the entire time on. You are running through the darkness for what seems like days, months, years. As you're running with only the light of the stars to guide you, you see a beacon. A pale red light high above, well, not high, but up above you in the sky.
She's gonna run towards it, because that's got to be a sign in her mind.
Yeah,
somebody is trying to talk to her.
You continue to run through the night, getting closer and closer to this light source on the very edge of your vision. Dawn begins to break, and you can see before you a familiar vision, a hill with a grouping of trees at the top. An now full restored archway at the front of these trees. Around one of the pillars that is next to this doorway, a vine of thorn, and at the top, a rose, illuminating and calling.
She will approach. Is this her rose that she made earlier?
Is this what?
Is this the one she made earlier? Or just a new one?
As you approach and you extend your hand toward this this rose, the light begins to dim. Not in a bad way, but like in a way of remembrance. And as you touch it, this is indeed the rose that you drew and crafted the night or the evening before.
This place looks a little... No offense, but this place looks a little better, little voice person.
Thank you.
Where are you?
Come inside, and we'll talk.
Are you gonna try to stab me with the sword? Because last time I went into places, that's kind of what happened. It's probably because I beat somebody at this game, but...
There are no swords in this home.
Okay. That's the promise. If you lie, then bad stuff. That's what they told me. And she walks in.
As you walk in, you can hear a small, like kind of as you're beginning to step through the threshold. You look around, and before you, you see an atrium filled with sculptures. These sculptures are of creatures that you've read in some of your sister's tomes, of satyrs, or faun, as some would call them, dancing and frolicking about, beginning to make their way, their merry way through the atrium into what looks to be the chamber in which the pool had rested.
She will like continue to walk, and she's like making out every detail as much as she can as she is kind of proceeding through.
The art on the walls, like, so there's statues, and then there's also like deco style art on the walls. The art is of various elven-like creatures, most of them looking like what you would recognize as Eladrin, so elves of the seasons. Some of them looking more regal than others, but these are all very bright and lively colored. There aren't many that are, you see maybe one or two that are more of the autumny shades, but these are mostly spring and summery colors. As you enter into where you had once seen the fountain, the swan is gone, and in its place... Oh, go ahead.
I didn't break it.
You again hear the thump, thump, and you begin looking around. But in the place of where the swan was, standing or sitting like on a small like dais in the center of this fountain, is a very intricately painted like vase. Maybe about like yay big, but like yay big, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
The rose or the lilies floating around this this dais in the center of the oh my god, fountain. Your lily still among them.
That's probably a good sign. You said you wanted to talk after the people. Did you know that the people were that mean?
You look around, and again you hear the thump, thump, and coming from up and around you and flying over your head, you see a swan, larger than what would normally, like what you would normally see, and it flies right over your head, barely skimming the top of your antennae before it splashes and dives into the fountain, kind of curling around the pedestal. And as the waves kind of come around the pedestal, standing up and out of the water, you see a woman with blonde hair, dressed and adorned in white gowns and linens, kind of like you, how it like wraps around your your elbows and like your shoulders and stuff. Around her neck, a necklace of diamonds and pearls. Man, hi. And she smiles, and facial features are a little bit more human than elvish. Hello, child. To answer your question, mankind is a lot like the water.
I'm afraid of the water.
And in some respects, the water is afraid of you. For instance, and she... Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw real quick.
Dear God.
A 5.
A
6.
5. She splashes you with water. As I go, and she makes sure to keep it on the lower half,
Okay.
from the neck down.
Okay.
The water fears being moved. It fears change. But with change, and you watch as like the only time the water moves or even ripples is when she splashed you, and the second that her hand came up and out of the water got surprisingly still. And she takes her finger and pricks the water again to give it a ripple effect. The water moves to your will, but the water also seeks balance.
So people need balance.
All things in this world have balance. Mankind has balance in weirder ways than some of us do. It is in their nature. They only live. Go ahead.
I was pretty balanced, and she stands on one foot.
I can see that. But what I mean isn't balance here, and she points to your foot, but balance here, and she points to her heart, and balance here. The short lives of men make them impulsive, make them fear change, and make them, just like my hand through the water, wish to exert change on the world around them. It is not our place to interfere with that. Yet, teach them that there's also good in this world, even with change.
So they think everything's bad? What's wrong with them? Have they not looked outside and, like, seen all of the... People are weird.
This, my dear, is not Ecriom. The men you saw at that village were not normal mortals.
I don't understand.
She scoops up some of the water in her hands. Your sisters, your friend, are not who they seem to be. This place is not of the same natural world that you were born from, that I was born from, that the gods had created. It's something different. It's a bridge of sorts.
But I've always been here.
You have.
I don't remember. How did I get here. I don't... Is it... I don't... What do you...
And she's like getting flustered and kind of starting to question everything.
Make a perception check real quick.
That is a 19.
A 19. As you're starting to become flustered and like freaking out a little, playing with your hair, playing with your antennas, like playing with your bangs, like
Yeah.
all of the stimming. You look down at the pool and you notice that the water in the pool is starting to turn from the clear that it was and starting to become brackish brown. The lilies, all except yours, are beginning to wilt and die. The water is slowly creeping closer toward this entity in the center of the pool, with her hands holding out with a small bit of water still in them.
What is...
And Eden's gonna kind of quickly try to approach because she's thinking something bad is happening to the pretty lady.
They know I'm here. We don't have much time. And again, she takes some of the water that she has in her hands, and she turns to the vase behind her, and she dumps it in and picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, you wished fate to bring you your own cauldron. Let this serve as yours. And let the teachings of your sisters guide you in your actions wherever this life takes you. And the water now is at the point where it's starting to touch the bottoms of her dress, and the dark color is now starting to make its way up, and as it does, you watch as vines of thorn are starting to twist around this woman.
No.
The thorns poking in, staining her dress with not only the darkness of the water, the brackish color of the water, but of blood.
Stop! Don't... She's friend, like... But I thought you said they were lying.
As the vines begin to make their way up shoulder length and around the face, you are not a daughter of autumn or of winter like the rest. You are a daughter of spring. And then the whole form, now in this thorny cocoon, sinks into the mud of the pool.
Oh.
She'll take the vase and she's like looking at it and kind of slushing the water around.
Yeah, so as you take it, if there was a color that Eden was most attuned to, what would it be? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but
Yeah,
but it would be that color.
It would be like a pale rosy pink color.
Okay.
Would probably one that would make her feel safest.
Cool. So you watch as you begin to hold this vase, and you've seen similar things happen to Belladonna's cauldron, how it turns that like greenish color. You watch as it begins to bubble and roil as your cauldron now begins to fill up with this water, but it takes on a similar hue to you.
Oh. Thank you, pretty lady. That's probably dead now.
Oh. She's gonna kind of step away and like sit down for a second.
How do I get out of wherever here is, though, if they know that she was here? And I don't understand, because then I'm supposed to listen. Okay.
And she's gonna like be talking to herself and getting up and kind of like the room, does it look dilapidated and ruined again?
As you begin to step up and begin to look around, now not focusing on your vase, yes, it looks like the same. This time, though, the swan statue, when its head was bowed, the head is now broken off and laying in the pool, which is now empty.
Mom, didn't have to do that. Okay. Well, sorry. Just tried to make it pretty. And she's gonna start walking away back towards home.
You start walking, turning as you leave the grove to look upon the small pillar where you had left your mark the night before. Still there, a rose of remembrance. You trek back home, this time in a less enthusiastic pace than you did the day before. The sun's beginning to set when you finally reach your cottage.
Strap my vase to the side and open the door. I'm home.
Belladonna sitting at her cauldron. Welcome home, dear. Is there... That wasn't Belladonna's voice. How was your journey?
It was weird. I played a game with this person that had fur on their face, and then they got mad and drank this really nasty drink that they bought me, and then they didn't like that, and they tried to stab me with a sword, and
he came and saved you, didn't he? As Hemlock, who's been kind of like lingering by the doorway to the bedroom, starts to step full into the chamber.
He did. He's always really nice, but I didn't know that.
He doesn't let you learn.
I won't do it again.
No, you won't. Of course you won't, because if you do, then he will be there to save you yet again, and again, and again. If only it wasn't you, and it was me, and she like stops and begins to kind of just ponder and like kind of tick a little.
I wasn't.
It's okay.
I'm here to learn.
We're all here to learn. We're all here to learn. I see. You have you found your fate.
Yeah, I found it on this fountain thing, but I like it, and I can carry it around. And look, it kind of, it feels like me.
And she picks it up and takes a look at it. And her face, smiling as she kind of takes it from you, quickly turns into concern. You said you got this from a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
What
There was a swan on it.
And you hear calling from the bedroom. A swan is ill omens, especially in these parts, as Wisteria starts to make her way out. Ladies, we all know what swans mean. And this time her form, usually more like kind of humanoid and calm, is now starting to change. Her skin, which was a pale green, turning more into an olive. Her eyes starting to bulge with like black veins coming out of the sides. It is time to begin again. It is time to restart. Come, child, it's time to go to bed. It's time to sleep.
What was your... You look... Okay.
Nothing, dear. Come. And she reaches out her hand, and as she's starting to reach out her hand, it's almost as if Belladonna and Hemlock, like, shift to either side, and you can see the same type of metamorphosis start to happen to them.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
And they all start to speak kind of in unison. Come, child. It's time to go to sleep. It's time to dream. You like to dream, yes?
I don't want to dream again. I stayed there for too long. You don't let me wake up.
You are up, my dear. You must learn. It's getting late. And they take a step forward toward you.
She takes a step back.
But why are you being so... I'll go to bed.
And she tries to dip to the room.
As you try to dip to the room, they open up and allow you to go in. Night falls.
Right. Yep.
The four of you, each in your respective beds, begin to fall asleep. Or at least go to bed. Is there anything you would like to do?
Are they asleep?
Are they asleep? Roll a perception check for me. Remember, you still have 2 d4s.
I would like to use a d4, but it's not going to help.
Would you like to use the...
Can I use both of them?
Would you... roll a deception check against the DM?
No.
No. All right.
It's not going to help.
Would you like...
It's a 3 on the die.
Okay. Would you like the left or the right?
Left?
Left? All right. That would add 2.
That's a 6.
Okay. They sound asleep. Wisteria's tree is closed. Hemlock has her little, like, eye thing on and, like, her little mud mask routine. And Belladonna is snoring rather obnoxiously.
I will try to sneak out of the house onto the porch, and I'm gonna sit outside as my goal.
Go ahead and roll.
They scared me. Do they look haggy?
Right now?
Like, no, do they look freaky?
The second you went into the room, they returned back to their normal selves.
Okay, so I've just witnessed weird shapes.
Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
That I'm good at. Except for when it does that. Damn it. Can I have advantage? That's a 5.
It's a 5.
You're back in dice jail, you little...
Right, you start to head out, and you hear the snoring and the breathing, and you're looking back at the doorway to the bedroom to make sure no one's waking up, and you run into Belladonna's cauldron. It begins to teeter and fall off. You stub your toe, and it begins to teeter and start to tilt off the fireplace. Go ahead and give me a strength saving throw.
Aha! That's a 17.
A 17.
I'm strong, you guys.
You manage to grab it and steady it with very minimal, like a little grunt. You turn around. They still seem to be asleep.
Onto the outside.
Okay. Give me one more stealth check.
It's
an 8.
Would you like to use the D4? That's a 4.
Okay, that's
there
a 12.
So that's a 12. This time, as you go, you slide open the door. The door is as quiet as can be. And as you turn to leave, pack in one hand, Voss on like your hip and like holding it in the other. You're running out of hands to like carry things. It's like you're jumbling, and you let the door slip away from your toe, and it doesn't slam, but it just makes the just the very like the little latch closing, and you bolt You run. You run
Fucking.
into the forest where you started this journey. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
That is a 19.
A 19. You run, and the forest, dead and dying around you. The thorns starting to get closer and closer to the point that they're scratching you. You wake up. Cold. Alone. Crawling your way out of this bramble. You look up a tower of thorn and rose in front of you.
Does this ring any bells? I should start to remember some stuff. Or is this just alien?
You remember the feeling of sadness, the anguish of loss. You feel yourself being pulled here, but now all you feel is fear. And in the distance you can hear the steady thump, thump sound you've recognized, a sound that has saved you before, but now a sound that has filled you with nothing but dread. Please don't read. Please don't work. Please don't work. I'm waiting for it. Renee redeemed a dragon roar. And I'm trying to see if it'll work. I'm waiting. Okay, it didn't work. Thank God. Cool. I turned him off. Thank God. Whew. I was like, I could have sworn I took off the sound alerts, but and watch, it's gonna scare the shit out of me in like 2 seconds now. It's gonna be super late. No, I turned them off specifically for Ecriom because I don't want dragon roars and a bunch of stupid Star Wars cantina noises in the middle of a damn. Anyway, now the sounds of the beating wings of your savior, your friend, fill you with fear and dread.
She will stand up. Does she have any of stuff with her? She doesn't have stuff. She's just gonna get up, realizing that her legs are not used to moving.
You get up and begin to stumble, and then eventually you find your feet. If not, the experience of the years that you have been within this realm that was not the Lands of Ecriom that you thought they were. You go through the Briar, the thorn, riddled with mold and mildew, ash, blood soaked, the wings beating at your back constantly the entire time. And then the thorns give way. This briar gives way. And you are in a forest of green tree, of you and Willow, half submerged in the world around it. You turn, and within the bramble and thorns behind you, you see a figure, an elf, striding long flowing silver hair, a robe of black and like almost black with like the weird like dead leafy texture to it, not camo but like different colors of blacks and grays and a little bit of browns, but not like a ton of browns. A pack in one hand, a vase in the other. He sets them, arms extended, barely breaking, enough to kind of hang them on the thorns that are on the outside of the bramble, but not make his arms extend out of it. I understand why you wish to go. But one day you will need to come back.
I'm sorry.
And his hand kind of extends to like brush your cheek, but obviously you're too far and something's holding this entity back from the outside, the world that you're currently in. Don't be sorry. You're curious. I should have known that I couldn't keep you in there forever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She'll walk forward to pick up her stuff and kind of like reach to kind of touch, just
As
like
you reach to kind of touch, a white rose begins to bloom off of one of the vines nearby, and when it opens, it reveals a familiar moth.
finger out.
It crawls up your hand, and when it gets to your shoulder and it starts to go around your neck, you can feel it start to shift and change, and it turns into a small furry creature as it sits on your shoulder. I will be
Scritches.
with Scritches. I will be with you always. I am never far, even when I am.
Scritches. Grabs this stuff. And she kind of takes like a couple steps like backing away and then turns and just like runs. Barefooted and all.
You run barefooted, kind of cold, kind of confused and afraid, out of these woods into the world beyond. Your feet taking you far and wide across Ecriom during your travels, until you continue far, far south, through the marshes and swamplands. Unfamiliar to many, but somewhat familiar to you and feels like home. Until you get to the ruins of an ancient city. The ruins of an ancient city that now hold what remains of the ramshackled people of this little peninsula. And you find yourself heading toward a familiar sight. A sign hanging above a door. As you step into the shittiest, dirtiest, grimiest, insert random word here, tavern in all of Cantor. And where you will begin your journey in September. Also, we skipped level 4, so you're also tier 4.
Hey, cool.
What did you win?
I got a feat. I got Fey touched.
Fey touch. Awesome.
Which just for funsies, I will be taking. Obviously, it's Misty Step, but I'm taking Dissonant Whispers because all the spoopy.
All the spoopy. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And then you're taking +1 in what, wisdom, I imagine?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That 8 is sticking around in charisma though.
That 8 is sticking around in charisma. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Taryn, for an amazing one shot. Thank you all for journeying to the Briar and then the Grove with us. Well, the Grove and then the Briar. Grove and then the Briar with us. Yeah. Shit. I don't know where to go from there. It was fun. We're going to raid somebody, so stay around for like 2 seconds as Logan figures out who they're going to raid. You know what? You know who we're going to read? You know who we're going to read? We're going to read my good friend, Coral. Oh my gosh, I forgot her
I
name.
was gonna say, yeah,
Coral is
like
here.
Queer Adventure Time. I
Coral is
think
here.
they're
Queer Adventure
sharing.
Time. Yeah, and I said read because like RuPaul, they like read each.
Yeah.
It was intentional, guys. I was looking at.
We
at
should go
Coral.
see Coral
Yes,
because
we are-
Coral's a lot of fun.
Coral's a lot of fun. She's just chatting, but like, let's go give her some love and like brighten up her day.
Definitely.
So we're gonna start the raid. Y'all have fun. Y'all have a great day. Oh, next one is on Tuesday, where Renee and Bree, aka Utahime, will be doing their Commodore one shot. So yeah, stay tuned. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Awesome. Bye guys. Love you.